Look at this. There's a piece of rope. There's a piece of rope. Or something on the road being pulled. Look at that. There's a piece of rope on the road. Piece of string being pulled. Look at that. It goes over here. It's being pulled around here, around this fence. Look at this. There's a piece of string rope thing on the floor. Road. Look at it. You know, everything in life is going towards this ordered state, this structured state. You know, you look at life itself, it starts from nothing and it constructs this patterned design that takes up space. You know, it formulates this energy, puts it in line, connects it to the pieces that it needs to connect to in order to create something that, you know, produces more of itself. You know, it wants to recreate whatever it thinks it is, right? Just like people do that. They form their organizations, their little groups, their little ways of thinking, and they believe that's the right way, or that's the only way, or that's the way other people ought to think, and force them into that pattern as well, right? Just like what I'm doing, I'm kind of sharing my thoughts. Even though I'm just one person, I try to go out of the norms. I try to pave my own way instead of just falling in line of what other people do. Notice I try to avoid the noise, keep my signal clear, that sort of thing. Maintain order. You know, that's what the world needs. It needs to maintain order, understanding, clarity, so that the words can translate, so the messages can translate, so people can hear each other and that sort of thing. We can't have these riots or whatever going on, causing confusion. And, you know, there's some people that just instigate that because they don't know how to control themselves. They kind of identify with the chaos because they see their own lives kind of disturbed and without control. They don't see themselves in that sort of position. See, most of the stuff that you're seeing on TV is just recycled patterns, okay? It's all just patterns. Your mind goes through this pattern, this cycle, you know, this behavior. Everybody does it. But because it keeps happening every second, every moment, we can't put much conscious thought into it, you know, because we're like on autopilot. We have to do what we're told to do and that sort of thing. And you can see it in nature, in all the plants and animals and things like that cycle themselves through season to season. Same sort of thing happening in the material. Same thing happens in your mind. just like there are traffic patterns, you know, with the signs. You have to watch out for the signs that tell you what to do and that sort of thing, where to go, which direction to take, if you got a place to be, place you want to go, right? We're following all the lines, we're following all the visions, right? It's what the world tries to focus on, because it's a clear distinction between one thing and another thing. That's what our mind does. It creates distinctions so that we could focus on the detail, focus on the pieces, and then be able to identify it, you know? Otherwise, we won't understand anything. We won't be able to comprehend what's there, right? We need this mechanism to point something out, isolate it, control it, grasp it, okay? We have these two systems inside ourselves that are used as like a claw, a clamp, something to grab onto things, you know? One side and another side come together, capture whatever's in the middle, okay? We have this conceptualized pattern, right? This behavior inside our minds, and it's doing it without our control, because it has to happen, otherwise we can't live and do what we're meant to be doing, right? Things just fall apart, they lose grip, they lose control, okay? That's what happens when your emotions run out and that sort of thing. When there's like chaos or things that get in the way, that contort you, pull you different directions, wear you out, stress you out, and things like that. They take your energy away, that sort of thing. It makes it difficult to focus, just like that noise that happened before. All sorts of stuff are happening in the world, right? And then when something comes along and shakes things up, people want to understand what's going on with it, right? That's why they have to look at it and focus on it. With all these events in the world, things happening, making news, traumatic experiences, it creates a lot of space and disturbances that need to be sorted out, okay? We're all sorting things out, and that's natural, okay? There's construction going on, there's deconstruction, this chaos and order to reality, okay? And you can just see it reflecting off of everything, just recreating itself and uncreating itself, transforming the energy from one thing into another thing. That's life, basically. And most people don't realize, you see those people on TV protesting and rioting and that sort of thing. These people are moved by their emotions, cause them to congregate together, form these groups to express these feelings, right? They don't really have control over themselves, because you see what happens, they're too easily moved, I guess. And it causes like these problems, where things become congested because they don't have order to it. You see people just like walking through the streets and that sort of thing. People that are think they're doing something right, and they're challenging this system that's already been in place. And it's kind of strange, because you look at them and they're mostly younger people that don't have experience, people that haven't had the chance or the time to look back on what's happening. They're just being fed this information, and they haven't had the time to learn to control how to respond to it in a controlled and calm way, you know, something that's something that remains stable and that sort of thing. You know, we have this grid, this giant grid, this system that keeps things all unified, uniform, you know, this normalized pattern that we've kind of worked together to create, that sort of thing. Everybody's doing it.